Welcome to the Shreveport Connection. This is Tommy. This is your video for your Royal Rumble results. Well, on the pre-show, they open up with Renee Young, Corey Graves, along with WWE Hall of Famers Booker T and Jerry King Lawler. Yes, they changed announcers for the setup. We see fans making their way into the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. They joke about Booker wearing breakaway pants for tonight's 30-man main event for the World Heavyweight title. And we get checking in from Rich Brennan from the Social Media Lounge and joined in by Social Outcasts later. Panel talked about the match, and we get by the numbers video for tonight. We go backstage in the League of Nations. Sheamus says he's going to get his World Heavyweight title back tonight and says either way, one of them is going to leave with their title tonight. They get hyped for the match as we go back to the panel. They show the trailer for the new WWE 24 special on WrestleMania 31, which premieres after the Rumble. We get hyped for tonight's Last Man Standing match as we go backstage to JoJo with Kevin Owens. Owens is very confident about putting Ambrose down, winning the Intercontinental title back, and winning the Royal Rumble for the WWE World Heavyweight title. And they talk about the Fatal 4-Way. And the match is up next. Dudley Boys versus Mark Henry, Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Dudley Boys versus Mark Henry and Jack Swagger versus The Ascension versus Damien Sandow and Darren Young. And the winner gets to be in the Rumble. We go to the ring, and Michael Cole is joined in by JBL, Byron Saxton. Eden does the introductions as the Dudley Boys come out for the first to a big pop. Winners of this match will earn the Royal Rumble spots. Mark Henry was in the Rumble, but they took him out. Oh. Put him back in, whether winning the match. As you will say. It's out. Who is out next? Followed by his partner, Jack Swagger. They headed to the ring together. Cole tells everyone to have. The two have had success in the WWE main event recently. Damien Sandow was out next in his blue robe, and he gets a big pop. Darren Young is out also running circles around Sandow. Young tries to get Sandow to do the millions of dollars dance, but Sandow doesn't break character. The Ascension comes out last. Darren starts things off with Swagger as fan chant for tables. They didn't announce that the Dudley Boys. Okay, the Dudley Boys did come out first. Okay, Swagger gets an early pin attempt. Henry tags in and flattens Young. Fan chant for Sandow. Now I believe. Henry works Young over in the corner. Swagger tags back in and runs the ropes, but Young decks him. Sandow tags into a huge pop. As I was trying to get the internet feed to come up. Not during the preview. I take it back. Because I was. Yeah, I got home in time for this whole thing and would not come up. Well, he nailed the Russian leg sweep on Swagger and did the elbow of disdain for a pop. Fans chanted for Sandow, but Young tagged in for some double teaming. Young gets a bridge suplex for a 2 count. Connor tags himself in as the fans boo. He drops Swagger and shoves Henry on the apron. Henry comes in and leads all 4 teams coming in to argue as the referee tries to keep order. And we go to a commercial break on the pre-show. Back from the break, Swagger is in with Connor. Swagger slams him and Devon tags himself in. Devon unloads on Connor, but a neckbreaker block. Victor trips Devon while the referee is distracted. Victor tags in and they double team Devon in the corner with some stomps. Connor comes in for some double teaming and a 2 count. Fans still want Sandow. Bubba finally gets a tag and unloads. It comes down to Devon hitting the big headbutt on Darren Young. They call for the tables. Victor runs in and takes a 3D, but Swagger pulls Bubba out of the ring as he goes for the pinfall. Henry splashes Bubba as Swagger holds him from the floor and then covers Victor for the win. Swagger and Henry are going to the Rumble. After the match, Henry and Swagger celebrate as Henry's music plays. WrestleMania 32 banner drops down as they shake hands and Henry exits the ring. Renee sends us to Rich Brennan and the social outcasts in the social media lounge. They kick him out and turn the Q&A sessions into shenanigans. We go back to the panel for more Rumble hype and videos. We get a promo for tonight's Divas title match, and Becky Lynch promises to bring home the gold. Booker predicts Becky will win, but Graves disagrees. Lawler says Becky is jealous of Charlotte's relationship with her dad. Lawler says that he heard Becky has daddy issues. The panel hypes the 30-man main event one last time, as Graves doesn't think Reigns can overcome the odds tonight. More discussion from the panel, and that's it for the pre-show. 2016 Royal Rumble pay-per-view opens with Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon getting out of a limousine in the back. They're in a very good mood tonight. JoJo approaches them and comments and brings up the World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. Vince bends down to get on JoJo's level, and we hear the crowd laughing inside. They talk about Reigns defending in tonight's 30-man main event, and even Stephanie McMahon was laughing because he had actually get on his knees. Vince says he loves this night almost as much as he loves himself and his daughter. They walk off, and we get an opening video package presented by Chex Mix. The Royal Rumble is live from the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. As Pyro goes off, Michael Coleslaw welcomes us to the pay-per-view. He's joined in by JBL and Byron Saxon. We go right to the Lillian Garcia in the ring. Last man standing match. Well, she does a little bit of singing before the match, and then introduces the match for the Intercontinental title. Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose. And then goes over the rules, and out comes Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose to a big pop. Of course, KO is out next, also to a pop. And then we see the Spanish and French announcers at ringside. The bell rings, and they unload on each other. Arm shots. Ambrose takes it to the corner, but Owens fights out into the opposite corner. And my feed goes into pixelization, just like Comcast does. Owens nails a big right hand and trash talks. Owens with more strikes and more chops from the corner to corner. And this was not on my PS3 because it froze during the pay-per-view. And it took me 3 or 4 times to get it on my laptop. Ambrose turns around and hits a running bulldog. Owens rolls to the floor, but Ambrose dives out on top of him, sending Owens over the announcer table. Coleslaw gets taken down as well. He goes right into Coleslaw as Owens yelled at Coleslaw before it. Shut up, Coleslaw! As Ambrose keeps up the attack and beats down Owens into the barrier, then tosses him back over the table. Ambrose stands on the table and gets a big pop from the crowd. He jumps off, but Owens nails him on the way down. Apparently, Cole's iPad was damaged. Ambrose whips Owens into the steel steps. Ambrose pulls the kendo stick from under the ring and goes to work on Owens with it, bidding him into the ring. Ambrose unloads with the stick inside the ring, sending Owens back to the floor. Ambrose follows, but Owens drops him with a super kick. Cole back on the commentary. Owens runs the length of the ring and hits a cannonball through the barrier. Fan chant, holy crap. As Ambrose is laid out, as the referee starts counting, Ambrose gets up at 8 count. Owens nails him with a kendo stick and follows him into the ring with it. This time, Owens nails kendo shots to the back. Owens breaks the stick over his knee and then jabs both pieces into Ambrose's gut before tossing him back out to the floor. Owens tells Ambrose to stay down. Nails another clothesline. Owens then nails a senton. Tells the referee to count, but Ambrose gets back up at 5. Owens throws him to the floor and launches him into the barrier. Owens throws several steel chairs into the ring. Owens smacks Ambrose over the back with one chair on the floor. Referee counts as Owens sets 2 chairs up in the ring. He sets the third one in the middle of the 2 chairs and kicks his feet up on the other. Ambrose gets... Owens looks to slam Ambrose on the top of the chairs he was sitting in, but Ambrose countered and he hits the big bounce back clothesline. Both go down and the referee counts. Owens with a chair to the gut and a chair shot over the back. Fan chat, this is awesome, as Ambrose gets up at 8 count. Owens brings the table from under the ring and goes back to nail Ambrose again. Ambrose gets up at 4 this time as Owens is talking trash to the fans standing on the table up at ringside. Owens then climbs back under the ring and gets another table. Stacks it on top of the other table, ECW style. Owens sends Ambrose into the corner and climbs up for the superplex through the stacked tables on the floor. But Ambrose tries to fight him off. Ambrose with a headbutt and elbows. Ambrose falls to the mat and throws a steel chair to Owens' face. It gets stuck around his neck. He got a ringer. Owens stumbles to the mat with a chair still on his head. He stumbled around and Ambrose starts punching and chopping the chair. It falls off and Ambrose unloads on Owens. Owens with a big super kick out of nowhere. Ambrose blocks the pop-up powerbomb attempt and then nails Dirty Deeds. Referee counts, the fans count with him now. Ambrose is up at 4. Owens is back up at 8. Ambrose slams the chair down and hits Dirty Deeds on top of it. The referee counts again. Owens gets to his feet at 9. By rolling out of the ring, he is still stumbling around and having trouble. Fan chant fight, Owens fight, as Ambrose stalks him on the floor now. Ambrose pulls the table, a third table from under the ring. Ambrose slams Owens' head into the announce table and then places him on top of the table on his back. Ambrose goes to the top and nails a big elbow drop through the table, not the double stack table. Fans chant holy shit as the referee starts counting. Both men get up at 8 count and another "this is awesome" chant from the crowd as Owens rolls into the ring. Referee starts counting, but he gets up at 4. Ambrose comes back in and picks up a chair. Ambrose with a shot to the gut and one over the back. Owens says he hates Ambrose. Ambrose also hates Owens. I hate you. You hate me. Ambrose sets up a table in front of the corner. Owens is down. Ambrose takes Owens up for a superplex through the table. Owens counters in mid-move and drives Ambrose through the table. A holy shit chant broke out from the crowd as the referee counts. Ambrose gets up at 9. Owens yells at him to stay down and nails a pop-up powerbomb. Referee counts again, but Ambrose makes it back up at 9. He collapses and Owens hits him with a chair. Owens stands 4 chairs up and puts another chair in the middle of them. He lays Ambrose on those chairs and goes up to the top. Ambrose jumps and pushes Owens off the top through the 2 tables that were stacked outside the floor, double stacked, ECW style, and the crowd goes nuts and the referee starts counting on the floor. Owens can't make it up and Ambrose gets the win. After the match, Ambrose clutches his title in the middle of the ring as his music plays. We see Owens being checked on outside the ring as we go to replays. Ambrose continues his celebration with the title as we go to commercial. WWE Tag Team title match, Usos versus New Day. We come back and the WWE Tag Team Champions Big E and Kofi make their way out to the entrance area. They ask for a moment to remember Francesca, the trombone. This leads to Xavier Woods coming out with a new trombone, named Francesca 2, the newest member of New Day. They are confident that the power of positivity will help them retain tonight. They dance and make their way to the ring. Usos are out next to a big pop. Jimmy Uso starts off with Kofi and they go at it. Uso drops Kofi with a big right hand after some back and forth action. Jey Uso tags in for the double teaming out of the corner. Jey tosses Kofi to the floor as Jimmy clotheslines him while Jey distracts the referee. Usos are getting a lot of boos, it appears. Could this be a Uso heel turn? Uso brings Kofi back in for a 2 count. Kofi hits Jey and tags in Big E. Jey rocks Big E and takes him to the corner, but Big E sends him to the ring post, shoulder first. Jey goes to the floor and Big E follows. Big E scoops Uso and goes to the run into the barrier, but Uso slides out and drop kicks E into the barrier. Woods charges and drops Uso with a tornado DDT on the floor while the referee was distracted. Kofi tags in and brings Uso back in. Kofi beats Uso down in the corner. As Xavier yells at Coleslaw for pointing out he's not in the match, with Kofi getting a 2 count on Jey. Fan chant for Francesca 2. As JBL says she's over. Kofi and Uso collide with super kicks at the same time. Kofi takes control out of it and in comes Big E with a splash for a 2 count. Big E keeps control and brings Kofi in for a big stomp off the tag. Xavier playing the trombone a little bit and gets a pop from the crowd, of course. Kofi ends up getting kicked in the head while on the apron. Falls to the floor, but Big E and Woods are quick to help him back in. Jimmy and Big E both tag in simultaneously. Jimmy unloads and fans are booing again. Jimmy knocks Kofi off the apron. Big E misses the clothesline and Uso hits a Samoan drop for more boos. Kofi comes in, but has no luck with the Usos. Uso hits the Umaga splash on Kofi and a corkscrew on Big E for a close 2 count. Jimmy goes up top, but Kofi distracts him from the apron. Jay takes Kofi down, but they tumble over the barrier. Big E takes advantage of the distracted Jimmy and drops him for a 2 count. Big E runs into a knee. Kofi grabs Jimmy's leg from the floor. Jay comes flying from the crowd and takes Kofi out on the floor. Big E knocks the distracted Jimmy off the apron to the floor with a big shoulder. All 4 men are down on the floor now. Big E brings it back in the ring for a 2 count on Jimmy. Kofi goes up top for a double team, but it's blocked. Big E sending Big E into the ring post. Kofi misses the Trouble in Paradise and eats a super kick. Uso goes up top for the big splash and the fans boo. Uso goes for the pin, but Woods makes a save from the floor. Uso argues with Xavier. Jay comes flying over and takes Woods out on the floor. Big E sends him into the barrier. Kofi rolls a distracted Uso up for a 2 count. Uso with a 2 count for himself on his own. More back and forth as Uso goes for a splash on Kofi, not realizing Big E tags himself in. Big E catches Uso in midair on his shoulder, dropping him, and Big E with a big ending for the win. After the match, fans are popping as the New Day starts dancing and celebrating. We got the replays as Xavier fires Francesca 2 up as we get another look at Big E's impressive finish. The Usos look on as the New Day leave with the gold. And we go to another pay-per-view commercial. And now to explode tonight's WWE 24 special on the WWE Network. We're going to look back at Monday's episode of the highlight reel from Raw and the ending with Brock Lesnar, the League of Nations, Roman Reigns, and the Wyatt family. We go back somewhere to the Wyatt family. In the back, Braun Strowman says they are war. Eric Rowan says they are pestilence. Luke Harper says they are famine. Bray says they are death and cuts a promo on tonight's main event. Wyatt says the apocalypse is here. Run. United States title match. Up next, Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio. Yeah. Automatic rematch clause. We're going back and forth. We go to the ring. Out comes U.S. champion Alberto Del Rio. We're going to look back at the recent title changes. Kalisto is out next to somewhat of a pop. The bell rings and Del Rio takes Kalisto to the floor. Kalisto quickly turns it around, but Del Rio gets the upper hand and goes for an early pin attempt. Del Rio then sends Kalisto face first into the corner and talks some trash to boos. Del Rio mounts Kalisto in the corner to right hands and fans count along. Kalisto kicks Del Rio and sends him to the floor. This leads to Kalisto diving out through the second rope. Suicide dive. And Kalisto works Del Rio over right in front of Brock Lesnar guy. They come back in and Del Rio turns it around to the running Enziguri and a 2 count. Del Rio keeps control and keeps Kalisto grounded after another 2 count. Kalisto tries to fight back, but Del Rio nails a tilt-the-world backbreaker. Del Rio keeps launching Kalisto across the mat, landing him on his face on the floor. Del Rio follows to the floor, but Kalisto nails a Hurricane Rana. Kalisto brings it back in the ring, but Del Rio counters the move and drops Kalisto over his knees. Del Rio gets a 2 count as Kalisto gets to the ropes. To break up the pinfall, they go back to the floor as Del Rio sends Kalisto into the barrier. Del Rio brings it back in and takes Kalisto to the top. Del Rio tries to unmask Kalisto, but only gets the top of the mask to rip off as Kalisto climbs up and nails a senton. Callisto makes a comeback, but Del Rio catches him in midair. Del Rio with a big kick to the head for a 2 count. Callisto blocks a cross arm breaker. Submission attempt. Callisto goes up top, and Del Rio misses the running enziguri as Callisto ducks. Callisto comes off the top with a big DDT for a 2 count. And then Callisto again coming off the second rope and connects. Second rope elbow, I think. Callisto slams Del Rio on his face with a Hurricane Rana. Callisto gets another close 2 count. Callisto coming back up top, but Del Rio hits him from behind and climbs up himself. Del Rio slams Callisto on his face from up top. Callisto ends up trying to make a comeback, but falls on his head, and the momentum of the match is off now. Del Rio goes up top, but Callisto crotches him. Del Rio headbutts Callisto, and he falls upside down in the corner. Del Rio misses the top as Callisto moved out of the way. Callisto nails Salida del Sol, but Del Rio got to the bottom rope. Just before the 3 count, Callisto springboarded in, but Del Rio caught him with the knees up for a close 2 count. Callisto took another big kick. Del Rio exposed the turnbuckle. Callisto countered with a kick to the head that barely connected. Del Rio launched Callisto into the exposed turnbuckle, but he blocked it. Callisto sent Del Rio into the middle of the exposed turnbuckle and hits the Salida del Sol for the win. Winner and new champion, Callisto. After the match, Callisto begins the celebration with the title as we go to replays. Well, Del Rio gets mad. But we go back to Renee, Booker, Lawler, and Graves on the panel to talk about tonight's show and the kickoff match. Stephanie McMahon is backstage when Paul Heyman walks in. Heyman talks about Brock Lesnar being in tonight's 30-man main event. And Stephanie says as long as Lesnar takes his aggression out on Roman Reigns, she's happy to negotiate. Heyman says that's how she feels, that tonight the Roman Empire will get taken to Suplex City. Heyman walks off as we go to take a break. A Divas title match was up next. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. We're going to ring out first comes Becky to a pop. Champion was up next with Ric Flair. We get formal ring introductions from Eden Styles, and Becky gets a big reaction while Charlotte gets booed. Becky with an early takedown as they go at it. Charlotte blocks an early disarmer to attempt. They go at it, trading holds, and Becky gets the upper hand as Charlotte goes to the corner for a breather. Becky with arm drags, the fans chant for her. Charlotte makes a comeback and slams Becky on her front. Then applying an arm bar. Becky sends Charlotte to the ropes to the floor. Charlotte comes back to the apron and they tangle up. Becky kicks Charlotte to the floor as Flair looks on. Flair gets in between Becky and Charlotte. Fans boo. Charlotte goes for the cheap shot, but Becky counters and nails her. Rick grabs Becky from behind and gives her a big kiss. Flair dances as Charlotte is looking on surprised. But Charlotte nailed Becky from behind and dropped her. Charlotte brings Becky back into the ring and mounted Becky with strikes. Charlotte more offense for a 2 count. Charlotte keeps control now. Fans chant for Becky as she tried to fight out of a hole, but Charlotte slams her by her hair. Charlotte mocks the fans and applies the scissors. Charlotte slams Becky's face into the mat with the scissors and keeps it locked. Charlotte keeps control of Becky using the scissors for several minutes. Becky finally gets to her feet with Charlotte on her shoulders. Becky slams Charlotte back, but both are down. As the referee's counting both girls down, they get up and Becky blocks shots with forearm. Becky unloads, but Charlotte cuts her off. Becky whips Charlotte into the corner and nails a pair of clotheslines. Becky with a side kick to the jaw as the fans cheer. Becky with a running forearm into the corner. Becky goes for the exploder suplex, but Charlotte blocked it and turns it around. Charlotte with a neck breaker out of the corner. Becky blocks the figure 8. More back and forth the counters. Becky connects with a big suplex for a close 2 count. Becky nails a leg drop. And then a big suplex for a 2 count. Charlotte blocks the disarmer and rolls Becky up for a 2 count. Charlotte with a spear for back-to-back 2 counts without getting up. Charlotte is frustrated now. Becky ends up rolling through with a disarmer. Charlotte powers up, but Becky keeps the hold locked. Charlotte powerbombs Becky to the mat as Flair cheers her on. Rick cheers her on. Charlotte gets a 2 count. Charlotte with a baseball slide on Flair while going for Becky. She looked shocked. Becky with a roll up for a 2 count. Becky applied the disarmer, but Flair got to the apron and tossed her. Rick got to the apron and tossed his jacket on her face. This leads to Charlotte hitting the spear for the win. After the match, Flair starts dancing around the ringside. That's Rick dancing at ringside. As Charlotte mocked Becky and raises her title. Charlotte stopped Becky and taunts her with the title. Charlotte slammed her face into the title and starts beating her up as the referee begs her to stop. As fans booing, Flair comes in. Ric Flair comes in to stand tall as the referee checks on Becky. Sasha Banks' music plays, and out she comes to a huge pop. She's by herself and makes her way to ringside. She takes off her rings and hops on the apron. Tossing her sunglasses to the floor, she walks in the ring, looks at Charlotte up and down before kicking Becky out of the ring with a kick to the gut. Sasha then says something about Becky taking her spotlight. Fans boo. She turns back around to Charlotte and points at the title. Fans chat for Sasha as they look at each other. They end up doing their own handshake, and it looks like they're friends again. The Flairs go to leave as Rick is out first. Sasha runs and nails Charlotte with a backstabber. Sasha applies a back statement and leaves Charlotte laying. Rick is going nuts as the referee holds him back. Sasha raises the Divas title as fans pop for her and her music plays. Charlotte sits up and isn't happy as she gets her title back. Sasha leaves as we go to replays. We get by the numbers video for tonight's main event. 30-man Rumble for the World Heavyweight title. We go to the ring. Out first comes your first entrant, and you know who that is. Roman Reigns through the crowd. Is getting a lot of boos tonight. Lillian introduces the second entrant. Out comes Rusev with Lana. This doesn't go very long at all. The bell rings, they go at it. Rusev gets an early elimination after some offense. Reigns ends up getting sent through the middle rope, but he's still in the match. Reigns nails a drive-by kick and comes back in with a spear. Reigns eliminates Rusev. Next man out was AJ Styles at number 3. I was surprised that he came in at number 3, but I wasn't surprised that he was entering the Rumble. He gets a huge pop and slowly walks to the ring and does this little pose and what have you. Almost Randy Orton style. As Reigns looks on. He's shocked. Whose music is that? And what have you. They go at it and the Styles Clash is blocked. Styles with a Pele kick. Reigns blocks another Styles Clash with a Samoan drop. Tyler Breeze is number 4. He gets some offense, but gets eliminated. Social Outcasts are out next, but only Curtis Axel is in the ring as number 5. Axel hits a big knee to the head on Styles. Slater and other members get on the apron, but get knocked off by Styles and Reigns. It looks like they're double teaming for the rest of the match. Styles eliminates Axel and turns his attention to Reigns. Well, that's the only elimination that Styles gets. Next man out was Chris Jericho at number 6. They all go at it as Styles eventually goes for a Styles Clash. Jericho blocks the Styles Clash and turns it into the walls of Jericho. Roman drops Jericho and breaks a hold. Probably goes off as Kane is number 7. He beats Styles down in the corner and tries to eliminate him. Fans are still chanting for Styles. Styles fights back with headbutts. Next man out was Goldust, number 8. Goldust and Kane go at it. Goldust unloads and hits the Bulldog. Goldust mounts Kane with right hands until Styles kicks him. Styles with a chop. Jericho grabs Styles and suplexes him. Ryback was out next for number 9. He unloads and connects with a bunch of high knees into the corners. New Day come out, and they're sending Kofi into the ring. Ryback with a huge backdrop on Styles as the fans boo at number 10. Styles comes close to getting eliminated at one point. And he goes back under the ropes. Titus O'Neil at number 11 comes in and cleans house. He catches Styles off the top rope and manhandles him to boos. Titus eliminates Goldust. Styles and Reigns come close to getting tossed again. R-Truth is out next for number 12. He runs down and brings a ladder from under the ring. He thinks it's a ladder match. Oops. He stands it up. All guys are looking at him in the ring. As everyone watches, Truth climbs up looking for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Or the other title, but it's not there. He climbs down and Kane eliminates him. Kofi gets tossed by Kane, but he lands on Big E's shoulders So he's still in the match. Big E runs around with Kofi on his shoulders as the fans chant. Kofi has a drink from a fan and is in no hurry to get back in. The next man is out was Luke Harper, number 13. Harper goes at it with Kane. Rusev, Sheamus, King Barrett, Alberto Del Rio, and Vince McMahon suddenly appear at ringside. Vince orders them to pull Reigns from the ring, and they do, but they don't get him over the top. They pull him through the bottom, underneath the bottom rope. League of Nations destroys Reigns at ringside on one of the announcers table. They toss him to the barrier and then the steel steps. They continue to beat down as Vince looks on and enjoys the show. But at this point, my feed goes out again. The next man comes out, Stardust. All three announce tables are messed up as the Reigns beatdown continues. They place Reigns on the French announce table, and Rusev runs all the way down from the first table and splashes Reigns through it. So now you're down to 2 tables, announce tables. Fan chant, holy shit, as Vince looks on and laughs. Vince leaves the league behind him. Kofi was eliminated at one point, as that Coleslaw said. Wasn't shown on the thing. Next man out was Big Show. 14, I guess. 15, whichever. Vince and the league step to the side as Show makes his way out. Reigns is being tended to by EMTs, and officials are in the debris on the floor. Show Stardust and kicks Jericho. He makes his way in. Show eliminates Titus. Reigns is being helped to the back. They have a stretcher, but he doesn't want on it. They help him to the back anyways as he collapses on the entranceway, putting him back on the stretcher. Jericho almost gets tossed, but hangs on. Next man out was Neville, and Styles is on Big Show's back. Neville comes in with a missile drop kick on Harper. Reigns is being placed on the stretcher. Reigns refuses the stretcher and walks to the back on his own. Stardust unloads on Jericho, while Harper decks Show. Fans chant for Styles as he goes at it with Jericho. Jericho moves to Neville. The next man out was Braun Strowman, who is in a hurry to get to the ring. He runs in and floors Neville, then Jericho, then Styles. Kane grabs Braun by the neck, but Braun overpowers him and tosses Kane. Kane is eliminated. Show and Braun meet in the middle of the ring. They trade shots. Show grabs him by the throat, but Braun blocks it. Braun starts choking Show out and tosses him. Big Show is eliminated. The next man out was Kevin Owens. Owens lips to the ring, selling his beat down from earlier, and is in bad shape. Still selling. Owens goes in and starts unloading with Styles as fans pop. At this point, Styles drops him with a Pele kick. As my feed came back in, Neville almost eliminated Styles, but he hung on. Styles comes back in for a clash on Neville, but Owens breaks it with a super kick. Owens grabs Styles and says, welcome to WWE. Owens then eliminates Styles over the top rope. Well, he was in there at least 30-something minutes, 33 minutes, I think, to be exact. As the fans move, fans chant for Styles as he makes his exit. Next man out was Dean Ambrose. He's bandaged up from earlier, and he goes right at it with Owens. Braun works Jericho over while Owens works on Neville. Stardust comes over to help Owens. The next man out was Sami Zayn to a big pop. Immediately, he goes after Kevin Owens. As Owens stares him down, Sami rushes the ring and goes at it with Owens right in the middle. Fans pop. Sami beats down Owens in the corner and clothesline Stardust. Owens nails Sami from behind. Sami blocked the shot and eliminated Owens. Owens is shocked as he hits him back. Next man out was Eric Rowan as Jericho nails Sami. Harper floored Ambrose with a clothesline. Rowan comes in and suplexes Jericho. Rowan tossed Neville, but he hung on and pulled himself back up. Harper followed up with a huge clothesline, and Neville was eliminated. Braun manhandled Sami. Rowan and Harper eliminated Stardust. Braun chokes out Jericho. Rowan slammed Ambrose. The next man out was Mark Henry, number 22. Henry decks Harper as it goes at it with Braun. Rowan makes a save as Braun slams Henry. All three men eliminate Henry. Sami tries to eliminate Harper, but all three of them team up on Sami. Braun tossed Sami as he is eliminated to booze. Ambrose attacked Braun, but Rowan stopped him. Braun choked Jericho again. Brock Lesnar is the next man out. As the fans pop, Paul Heyman is with him. He doesn't leave the area. He stays out for the entire time Brock is in there. Lesnar hits the ring and knocks Jericho from Braun's arms. Rowan takes a German suplex. Harper takes a belly-to-belly suplex. Braun attacks Lesnar and beats him into the corner. They collide and Lesnar rocks Braun with a clothesline. Lesnar drops Braun with a huge blow. Lesnar eliminates Rowan. Harper took a German suplex for Lesnar. Lesnar goes for a German on Braun, but gets back to the corner with elbows. Lesnar comes back in and unloads on Braun again. Lesnar kicks Harper. Next man out was Jack Swagger. Swagger misses the clothesline on Lesnar, and Lesnar hits a F5 on Swagger and eliminated Swagger. Lesnar then manhandled Harper and turns his attention to Jericho, but knees Braun in the head instead. Another big running knee. Lesnar with one more big running knee on Braun. The next man out was The Miz. Lesnar waits, but Miz is no hurry to even get in the match. Miz puts a headset on and sits at the announcer's table, talks trash about Lesnar. Lesnar with a belly on Harper. Miz talks to Cole on commentary and says this is all about strategy. And he is not scared. Lesnar with a German suplex on Harper. Lesnar with a German suplex on Ambrose. And then Lesnar with thrust on Braun in the corner. Another German on Harper. Lesnar eliminates Harper next. Next man out, number 26, is Alberto Del Rio. Lesnar goes at it with Del Rio. Ambrose joins in and helps Del Rio. Braun beats on Jericho. Lesnar fights off Ambrose and Del Rio. Del Rio takes a suplex. Lesnar goes back to work on Braun and clotheslines him over as Lesnar laughs as he's in the ring with Jericho, Del Rio, and Ambrose. Jericho and Lesnar go at it. The next man out was Bray Wyatt. Lesnar waits, but Wyatt stops at ringside. Strowman, Rowan, and Harper get on the apron and surround Lesnar as Heyman looks on. Harper attacked first, and they beat Lesnar down. Yeah, they all three came back in the ring to re-enter the match. Wyatt comes in the ring as they whip Lesnar into a big clothesline from Braun. Lesnar fights Rowan off and tosses him. Harper and Braun also get tossed back out to the floor, so they're double eliminated. Lesnar stares down Wyatt in the middle of the ring. As the fans pop, Wyatt misses and takes an F5. Lesnar scoots Wyatt again, but Harper makes a save. Comes back in for a third time. They beat him down, and Wyatt hits his sister Abigail as Wyatt family eliminates Lesnar to big boos. Wyatt and Jericho go at it. Heyman throws a fit as Lesnar gets up. The next man out was Dolph Ziggler. He attacked Jericho as they go at it. Ziggler with a famouser. Ziggler with a big DDT on Del Rio next. Wyatt and Ambrose took super kicks. Miz tossed Ziggler, but he hung on and pulls himself back in. Ziggler comes in, but Miz blocks him, hits a skull-crushing finale. More action all over the place. The next man out was Sheamus. Reigns attacks Sheamus from behind as he makes his way out. Fans boo Reigns as he enters the ring. Reigns eliminates Del Rio as Ziggler almost eliminates Reigns, but takes a Superman punch. Wyatt attacks Reigns and goes to work on him. Reigns with a big boot and a clothesline, and then delivers a Superman punch on Wyatt. Next man out was Triple H at number 30. Everyone looks on as Triple H makes his way out at number 30. Reigns talks trash as Triple H marches back to the ring. There, Roman Reigns comes back in the match. They lock eyes as fans pop. WrestleMania banner hangs in the background. They have words as Ziggler charges Triple H. He takes a pedigree. Wyatt goes after Reigns, but eats a spear instead. Stare down continues. Triple H cuts him off and hits the knee to the face. The low knee. Reigns and Triple H finally unload on each other. Reigns drops Triple H with right hands. Reigns blocks a pedigree. More back and forth as everyone else gets involved now. Ziggler attacked Triple H again on the apron and super kicked him. Triple H barely hangs on. Ziggler kicks again, but Triple H sidesteps. Ziggler hangs on and nails the famouser on Triple H. Ziggler charges again, but Triple H tossed him. He just basically moved out of the way, tossed him out of the way. Ziggler is eliminated. Triple H and Wyatt come face to face. Triple H points at Reigns. Wyatt decks Triple H and sends him to the corner. Teasing it's every man for himself. Wyatt splashes Triple H. Wyatt blocks the pedigree and kisses Triple H on the head, but Sheamus stops Sister Abigail. Triple H and Sheamus go eliminate Wyatt together. Reigns tries to dump both of them, but they hang on. Ambrose and Jericho go at it. Sheamus tries to dump Ambrose, but he hangs on. Triple H and Jericho go at it. Ambrose eliminates Jericho. It's down to Reigns, Triple H, Ambrose, and Sheamus. Your final four of of your main event. Reigns delivers a Superman punch on Triple H. Ambrose takes a brogue kick. Sheamus misses a brogue kick and lands on the apron. Sheamus knocks him off with a Superman punch. So you're down to 3. Triple H comes from behind and dumps Reigns to a big pop. So now you're down to 2. Dean Ambrose and Triple H. Triple H nails a crotch shot to Reigns. Okay, I went back. Okay. Triple H with crotch chops to Reigns. As Ambrose and Triple H go at it. Triple H ended up on the apron but hung on. Triple H then back chopped Ambrose to the floor with the first attempt, back body drop. Didn't work. The second time, it's still botched. And Dean hopped over the ropes by himself. And Triple H is your new champion. After match, Stephanie comes into the ring with Vince McMahon to join in for the celebration. Triple H takes his title and is going to the main event of WrestleMania 32. Oh, by the way, Roman Reigns also missed the Superman punch on Triple H, but Triple H sold it. Got back up. Pyro hits as the Royal Rumble goes off the air with the new World Heavyweight Champion celebrating. Maybe there's a little, this is a little bit harsh, but there was no mob of hospital staff trying to drag away Kane. There were no periods when the ring was completely empty. The babyfaces didn't lose because they fell for one of the oldest tricks in the book. An old trick that he used himself shortly before the pay-per-view, in fact. Well, I'm talking about the 1999 Royal Rumble. Yeah, because this was a copy of it. Remember, the winner went to the back for half the match. The Rumble that is considered to be the worst of all time. Yeah. They reused something that sucked back then, which still sucks today. In 1999, Austin left the ring to chase Mr. McMahon, which led into the ambush and beat down by the heel stable he was feuding with. He wasn't officially eliminated, but was taken away to receive medical treatment. But surprise, he turned out to have magical healing powers, come back in after a while, and almost won the whole thing. 2016, Reigns did not leave the ring to chase after anybody, but still received a beat down by the heel stable he was feuding with. These heels were perhaps even dumber than the heels in 1999. Because when they beat up Roman, the ring was right there. They could have thrown him back in so that somebody could eliminate him while he was helpless. The heels in 1999 at least had the excuse of being in a completely different part of the building than the ring. Reigns, not officially eliminated, is taken away to receive medical treatment. But surprise, he turned out to have magical healing powers, come back in after a while, and almost won the whole thing again. Russo isn't booking the shit anymore? WB, what's your excuse now? As somebody who isn't a fan of Roman Reigns, less critical of what they did, if they kept him in there until the very end, at which point he would either win the whole thing or get tossed out by one of the few men left. Here's why. If you are WWE, you want fans to see Roman Reigns as this valiant warrior struggling against seemingly impossible odds, right? With that being your goal, which one of the following 3 options tell that kind of story the worst? Option A. Roman Reigns enters at number 1 and wrestles for 30 or 40 minutes straight. He manages to survive against all comers until he inevitably succumbs to exhaustion and gets thrown out because he's human. Option B. Roman Reigns enters at number 1 and wrestles for 30 or 40 minutes straight. He manages to survive against all comers and finally wins the match because he's that damn tough. Option number C. Remember back when option C was Seth Rollins. There you go. Well, Roman enters at number 1. He survives for a while. Then a bunch of guys run in and beat the shit out of him, making sure to pull him under the top rope. In the process, Roman is not eliminated because the guys beating him up are bloody morons. He gets taken him backstage on a stretcher for an extended rest, while other wrestlers continue to fight. During this time, Roman's magical healing powers go to work and cause him to become rested and return to the match. Fresh as a daisy, he doesn't even have to worry about Brock Lesnar because he's already eliminated because somebody else dealt with him. So he gets eliminated though. It's option C they chose. Which is option C is the worst? How can the people booking these shows not realize that option C was the worst? Compare that to what it widely considered to be the very best Rumble. 1992 with Ric Flair winning. Flair never had a chance to rest. Flair stayed in from the time he entered at number 3 until the end of the match at an hour later. That's a hell of a lot more impressive than being temporarily taken out of the match and coming back a while later while not selling the beating you took earlier, right? Well, that's just my opinion. Well, let's see what yours is. Comment on the video. Thanks again. Peace out. See what I want to be in. By the way, if you don't know, just call me, bro.